I'm Barbara Brooks Wallace. I'm a writer of children's books, and I'm here to read you a chapter from my latest book, but giving you a little preliminary. I was born in China, and I have written a memoir about this. Small footsteps in the land of the dragon, growing up in China in the 30s, and the reason I happened to be born in China was because my mother was born in Russia at the turn of the century, and she went to Shanghai at the age of 15, entered the Harvard Medical School, which was in Shanghai at that time for 5 years. My father was in the films at Santa Barbara, and he went out to China to sell oil for the lamps of China. They met, they married, and that's how I happened to be born in China. And this is my mother's book, which I've also done her memoir. She really had a fascinating story, far more so than mine, but I'm here to talk about me, so I guess I'll do that. Anyway, this new book that I've done is called I'm going to get it here. It's called Diary of a Little Devil, and it takes place in Tientsin, China in the 30s. Andy is age 11, the same age I was at that time, living in the same place. When her father is widowed, newly widowed, they go back to the United States on home leave. He meets and marries a widow there with twin daughters. They go back to China in Tientsin. Is Paro acting up? I never know what Paro's doing. I'm not sure. I feel that he's doing something. Anyway, they go back to Tientsin, and of course they freeze Andy out. And this whole story is how they get back together again. And it's the Cinderella story. And of course it has a wildly happy ending because I'm addicted to happy endings. All my books have crazy, wild, happy endings because I believe in that. But anyway, she has her best friend is a boy, Donald. At the beginning of the book, all she does is talk about boys are stupid, boys are terrible, boys don't know anything, because they've had a falling out before she leaves China. So near the end of the book, of course, they get back together, and this particular chapter is how they get back together. It's near the end, but this is not a murder mystery, so I'm not revealing anything. It doesn't really matter that I let you know what happens. So anyway, I am now going to read this particular chapter. It's rather long. I hope everybody doesn't fall asleep while I'm reading it, but it's kind of fun. It's how the two of them get together. And Paro seems to be enjoying it as far as I can tell. He's doing a lot of wiggling around here. And I'm going to set these books down if that's okay. Okay, this is about, Sunday, December 18th. All three of us went to the school party at Donald's house. The front door had a huge pine Christmas wreath on it with a big red satin bow, just like always. We rang the bell, and Shao, the Phelps boy, opened the front door. Boy, incidentally, I have to tell you, is what we used to, in China, it was not a pejorative term. It was the head servant of the family who ran all the servants. We called him Boy, sometimes by his first name, but often just Boy. Then right away, Donald and Mrs. Phelps appeared from the living room. Donald was all dressed up in his best navy blue blazer and tie, and even his shiny black shoes, which he hated. One of them still had the same scuff on the left toe, I remembered. "Hello, I'm Donald Phelps," he said to Millie and Cassie. These are, incidentally, the twin girls. "In case you didn't know, and this is my mother, Mrs. Phelps. Hi, Andy." He added this very coolly. "Hello," said Millie and Cassie. "Hi," I said, just as coolly as Donald. I was glad Millie and Cassie were so busy looking around the big entry hall in the Phelps big house, they didn't pay much attention to what Donald and I said to each other, or how we said it. When we entered the living room, I saw at once that this was not quite the kind of party we always had at school. The Phelps' beautiful Chinese rug had been rolled up, and their Victrola that was always in their den had been rolled in. Then Donald made an announcement. "If you'd rather play games, there'll be games in the den." He waved towards the big open door to the den. Millie, Cassie, and I looked at one another at once, and then stood up and went, but nobody else did. We were the only ones. We sat down in the den and waited. Nobody else. Then all at once I saw a pair of boys' shiny black shoes walk up and park right in front of me. One of the shoes had a scuff on the left toe. "May I please have this dance, Andy?" Donald said. "Thank you very much, but I don't know how to dance," I said, not quite looking at him. "Well, neither do I," Donald said. "That makes two of us. May I have the next walk, then?" Donald can be very funny. I'd forgotten. I stood up. Donald lifted my left hand and put it on his shoulder. Then he picked up my right hand in his left hand. Then he turned me sideways. "Now walk," he said. "Where are we going?" I asked. "Just come with me," Donald said. We walked into the den and around the corner out of sight of the living room. Then Donald took my hand down from his shoulder and dropped the other one. "All right, Andy," he said. "What I want to know is what happened 9 months ago before you left for America. You stopped talking to me and stopped being my best friend, and I never knew why." "I don't remember," I said. "Sure you do," Donald said. "Even criminals get to know why they get sent to prison. I got sent to prison and nobody even gave me any reason. I guess I decided you wanted to be Isabella Marie's best friend instead of me," I mumbled, only halfway looking at him. Saying this out loud sounded pretty silly and not much of a reason for sending somebody to prison. "Isabella Marie?" Donald's jaw dropped open. "You mean stuck-up Isabella Marie? Are you being funny, Andy?" I shook my head. "Whatever gave you that idea?" Donald said. "Well, you were pushing her on the swing and drawing hopscotch squares for her after she had tea with her mother at your house, weren't you?" I said. This was sounding sillier and sillier. "I only did that because she asked me to," Donald said. "I had to be polite, didn't I? If I didn't do it, I figured she'd tell her mother, who'd tell my mother. Gee whiz, Andy, Isabella Marie, you were just plain stupid to think anything like that." "No, I wasn't," I said. "Yes, you were." Donald knew all along that he was right. I was the biggest stupid who ever lived. "I guess you're right, I really was stupid," I said. "Oh, not really," Donald said. "Yes, I..." Donald smiled suddenly and my heart went thump. I don't know why I'd never noticed it before, but Donald has the exact same twisty smile as Daddy. "School's out Wednesday. Do you want to come over?" Donald said. "Come over where?" I asked, as if I didn't know. "Here, dumbbell," said Donald. I thought I'd better wait at least half an hour before I answered. I waited 10 seconds. "All right," I said. "Come for lunch," Donald said, "and if you don't mind walking, I'll come for you at 11 on Wednesday. Is that all right?" I nodded. "Wear your earmuffs," Donald said, and gave me another twisty smile. He knows I don't have any earmuffs. I nodded again. Good thing nobody can hear hearts go thump. "So that's that," Donald said. "You don't..." Farrah's really enjoying this. Great. "You don't have to do any more dancing, Andy, and I don't either because I'm in charge of record playing, and I wish we just had games. This dancing was all the girls' idea, but I said we won't play spin the bottle. Gee whiz, Andy. Girls." Millie and Cassie had seen Donald taking me into the den, and they wanted to know why. "Did he want to kiss you?" Millie asked. "What?" I said. "That's silly. Why would he do that?" "I don't know," Millie said. "I just thought that's what they did at dances." "Well, they don't," I said. "He just wanted to ask me for lunch Wednesday." "He's cute," said Cassie. "Oh, he's all right," I said. "I've never thought about it. You don't know when you played with someone since you were little." I didn't see any reason I needed to say anything about the twisty smile. I just found out about, or the heart thumping. I guess I probably will never tell Donald about that, considering his opinions about girls. I hope he doesn't wake up one morning and remember that's what I am. End of chapter. Anyway, that's my book. It's Diary of a Little Devil. And of course it's on Amazon and Barnes & Noble, published by Pangea, who are doing other books of mine. Forthcoming is going to be a wonderful one about Miss Switch and the vile villains. That's going to be lots of fun, and I will probably come aboard and read to you again. So I hope you enjoy this book, and I think Paro did. At least he feels like it. He feels like it. I can't see his face. So thanks for tuning in. See you soon. Bye bye.